young long leg.
Yes, good, excellent. So thank you so much for coming to our little lunchtime program. Maybe I will briefly introduce myself because I think most of you I am meeting for the first time, right? Good. So my name is Devaki. I am originally from Germany, but I met Krishna Consciousness in Australia in 1985, just over 40 years ago. I was traveling the world looking for higher meaning to life. I gave up my professional career already and everything because I felt this is not what I meant to do. I was working as a physiotherapist in Germany and I made pretty good money in private practice. So, but I felt my treatments cannot give real happiness to people and I meant to give them something else. So, and then finally, after a long search and journey, I met the devotees in Australia. And I immediately moved into the temple, into the ladies' ashram. And I spent 4 years in the ladies' ashram. Then I was also married for 10 years. And in that time, we pioneered the first more organized temple in the former Soviet Union. And then in 1999, my husband left me, left Krishna Consciousness, as it goes these days, you know. But yeah, for me, I took it as Krishna's special blessing, and I moved on to the next phase in life, retired phase. So I didn't always look like I'm looking now. When I was married, I had hair, of course, and earrings and nose rings and bangles and colorful saris and everything. But then I thought, okay, it's enough with the whole man-woman thing, and let me take to the advanced phase of life. So, and for the last 25 years, I have been living out of a suitcase. And I spent 5 months per year preaching in India and in Bangladesh. Do we have anybody here from Bangladesh? No? I heard.
It's me only.
You only?
My friend in Bangladesh.
Oh, you're texting your friend in Bangladesh. Well, many devotees in Bangladesh know me. I've been very involved there for 25 years. Where's your friend?
Oh, he's in America right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I spent 5 months per year preaching in India and Bangladesh, and 7 months per year all around the world, basically. Sometimes I go to the US, and this year I was in Kenya and Mauritius and South Africa and all around Europe. So I'm just visiting for a few days, and one day I'm moving on to Mayapur. Yes, and I have also established an institute for spiritual culture, because in Bangladesh I learned so many things about our Vaishnava life. And I put courses together which I'm teaching in Mayapur. And now I'm putting these courses in book form. So I've published 6 books. I have 1 more to go. They're all good topics. I will share a few little things at the end. Yeah, so that's my humble mission. So today I do want to take a verse from Bhagavad Gita, one of the verses which I'm referring to very regularly. This is verse 269. Where is that? 269. Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So the Sanskrit goes as follows. I just chanted once through. Yanisha Savavuttanam Tasyam Jagari Samyami Yasyam Vajagati Bhuttani Sanisha Pasyato Mune. The translation goes as follows. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-controlled. And the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. This is one of my main verses, which I'm so often quoting, because it's a very interesting topic. Wow, this Bhagavad Gita has been read a lot. That's a good sign. It's falling apart. Okay, let us read the purport. There are two classes of intelligent men. One is intelligent in material activities for sense gratification, and the other is introspective and awake to the cultivation of self-realization. Activities of the introspective sage or thoughtful man are night for persons materially absorbed. Materialistic persons remain asleep in such a night due to their ignorance of self-realization. The introspective sage remains alert in the night of the materialistic man. The sage feels transcendental pleasure in the gradual advancement of spiritual culture, whereas the man in materialistic activities, being asleep to self-realization, dreams of varieties of sense pleasure, feeling sometimes happy and sometimes distressed in his sleeping condition. The introspective man is always indifferent to materialistic happiness and distress. He goes on with his self-realization activities, undisturbed by material reactions. So in other words, what is night for all beings, meaning for the materialist, is the time of awakening for the self-controlled, and vice versa. So the essence of this verse is actually that the outlook on life of a materialist and of a spiritualist are as different as days from night. Yeah. This is a really important thing to understand, yes, because what is success in material life, showing off, promoting yourself, pushing yourself to the front, and having so many followers, and that's seeing the path to success in material life, stepping on each other's heads to get up there, right? But in spiritual life, this would be seen as an obstacle, as unwanted, as really inappropriate, right? Yes. And what is success in spiritual practice? For example, tolerance is a very good example. In spiritual life, tolerance is a really high quality to aspire for. It's almost like the criterion to measure a person's spiritual strength and how tolerant the person can be. In our scriptures we have Prahlad Maharaj and Haridas Thakur, some of you may be familiar with them. They were so tolerant. They were the embodiment of tolerance. Very highly advanced situation. But with mundane eyes, tolerance is seen as what? Weakness, completely. That people say, what? You tolerate that? Forget it. I wouldn't tolerate. I walk out. I get divorced. Why should I tolerate this nonsense? Yes. There in material, with material vision, the success would be to fight for your rights and not to tolerate and stand up for yourself and defend yourself. That's seen as success. You know? So, in this day-night principle accompanies us throughout our whole spiritual practice. Yes, it's very interesting. Even, let's take another example from everyday life, the position of mother, right? In our Vaishnav culture, or in any spiritual culture, in any culture where God consciousness is the goal, mothers are very important personalities. They plant the seed of religious and spiritual life in the child's heart. They create the whole spiritual atmosphere in the homes and thus actually within society. You know? Yes, yes. So she's like the backbone to human society, actually. It's the mother. So most of you are from Indian background. I'm sure you know Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Chaya Devo Bhava, Titi Devo Bhava. So that means Matru Devo Bhava, mother is like the representative of the Lord. That's mother. Pitru Deva Bhava, the father is representing the Lord. Acharya Deva Bhava, the teacher is representing Lord. And Atiti Deva Bhava, this is something which is completely unknown in the Western world. Atiti Deva Bhava is the uninvited guest. He should be treated like the Lord coming. Yes. Oh, we have so many things to learn in the Western world. Yeah, so an uninvited guest, should be nicely received, and he is sent by the Lord himself. Yes, but Matru Deva Bhava, the mother, is the first one. Yeah. So, but in materialistic life and its culture, mothers, what's their position? Huh? Any suggestion? What's the position of mother and housewife? Huh? What's she seen as?
Taking care of the house.
Yeah, taking care of the house, but she is seen as the poor slave. It's a pitiful condition. What? That's all you're doing? You're just mother and housewife? Really? My God, what are you doing all day? Yeah, it's looked down upon. It doesn't get any recognition and respect, right? Yes. A successful woman is to go out and have a career and earn lots of money, Yes. But in spiritual culture, now things are changing also, even in Bangladesh, but still that idea is there. When a woman goes out and works, the poor thing, her husband can't nicely provide for her. She has to go out and work, That's actually how it is seen. Because she's not meant to battle it out there in the working world. She's meant to enjoy life with her kids and with her girlfriends and going to the temple and having some reading groups with other ladies and so she's meant to just enjoy life, actually, and not to battle it out there in competition with others and all this envy and fault finding and what's all going on there in the working world. Actually, in spiritual culture, people would say, the poor woman, her husband cannot provide nicely for her and she has to go out and work. It would be shameful for a man, actually. Yeah, like day and night, right? Yeah, so this day-night principle accompanies us throughout our whole life, actually. And it's good to keep this in the back of the mind, that whatever is modern and progressive may not be so helpful for our path of bhakti. it may create an obstacle, you know. So we should always consider this, because otherwise, very easily we think, oh, let's be also modern and progressive, and whatever out there is cool and you know, modern, we should also you know, accept that in our life. But very easily it will create an obstacle. Good to know. And especially for us Western people, you know, I mean, you Indian people, you grew up with a culture. You heard already as a small child, you heard already about Krishna and Ram and but you know, we Germans or French people, we haven't. So very often when we come first time to the temple, are you first time here? So, and you're French. Yes, both of you. So when you come first time, oh, it looks a little unusual here, doesn't it? You're wondering, okay, what are these guys up to here? You know. So again, the day-night principle, you know, that you find what our reality, our life here is a little foreign and unusual when you come the first time, sitting cross-legged on the floor. Well, I guess these days people are doing yoga and all that, you know, but 40 years ago when I met Krishna Consciousness, yoga was still pretty exotic then, you know. So, yes, so, but yeah, it seems all a little strange. And then gradually, as we come more regularly and we familiarize ourselves with what we are doing here and with our philosophy and our lifestyle and everything, so then gradually it becomes more and more normal. And I mean, I have lived this life for 40 years full time without working outside. So for me, this life out there is pretty crazy, you know. And for me, this is normal, this is reality, you know. Yeah, so gradually, you know, Krishna consciousness is meant to bring about a whole transformation, that we actually transform our likes and our dislikes and our worldviews and our patterns of behaviors and our very heart, actually, so that bhakti, that love for Krishna, can develop there. So it's a whole transformational journey which we are going on here. Yes. So let me see if maybe any of you have some quick question or comment. It's only a very short program, the lunch program, because in 10 minutes we serve the lunch. But tomorrow evening is a longer program. There I'm also giving the class tomorrow. So if you come back tomorrow around 5-ish, is it? Or what time is it? Tomorrow? You haven't been here on Sundays?
It's my first time as well.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Yeah, I'm also not familiar because, well, it's not my first time here. I've been here last year, but I think it starts around 4:30 or something. I don't know. Yeah. So do we have any question?
When you were talking about the spiritual and the crazy world we live in, but we live in this crazy world and we work or have to deal with that.
Yeah.
So combining both is earthly.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
Yeah. We have to actually live in two realities. This reality which we think to be reality is actually very flickering and interesting to understand. At the moment of death, the show is over, the curtain closes, it's all finished. Whatever we think ourselves now to be so important, at the moment of death, it has no significance whatsoever. And the only thing we are allowed to keep, which is eternal reality, is actually our relationship with the Lord. Whether you call him God or Krishna or Allah or whatever, Jehovah, whatever. There's only one God, one creator. So our relationship with him, that is actually eternal reality. Yes, because we are all eternal souls and we all have an eternal loving relationship with him. And that we take from lifetime to lifetime. Yeah. So, and we have to function in both realities, you know, that all right, while we are here, we go along with the game. You know, we just play our role, do our duties and responsibilities, but we realize as we practice spiritual life, we realize this more and more clearly that at the moment of death, it has no more significance. It's like waking up from a dream. Yeah. And the real, actual, eternal reality is my relationship with the Lord. And that we try to deepen. Actually, all religions say the same thing, you know, that we want to develop love for God. Even yoga comes from yog, from Sanskrit, and it also means to reconnect with the Lord. Religion comes from Latin, religere, means also to reconnect, you know. So all the religions have the same goal, and some do it in this way, some in that way, like that. But very true, we have to learn to function in both worlds, and as we take spiritual life more seriously, we will be more rooted in that eternal reality. And we just go along with the game here, as long as the show is still going. And we very well keep in mind, my relationship with the Lord, that's my main, you know, important goal in life, you know. Before we all run off and take some lunch, I do want to tell you something very little about these books, because I feel such an urgency to get these topics out into the world. Actually, each book is a 15-hour course, which I offer in India every year. Spiritual culture, Krishna's divine system. Actually, there I'm explaining these two cultures, spiritual culture, materialistic culture. And the whole book is about women, because we women play a very important role. We have a very powerful energy, and we are meant to be the power of inspiration to the man. And we are not meant to compete with the man. So it's, yeah, very interesting reading. Of course, it's completely opposite to what people say out there. You know, the day and night principle, we will find this a lot in that book, that we realize, oh my God, I'm far away from Krishna's divine system, you know. And then we have the false ego, our constant companion and troublemaker. This is also a good book for beginners, because false ego is very subtle. Actually, tonight at 6:30 we have a seminar. I'm giving a talk on this. Yes. Tonight we talk about forgiveness, the power of forgiveness. So often we get offended and we can't forgive, we can't let go, we keep these grudges for 20 years, we remember what that person did and said, and so this is actually connected with the false ego. False ego crying for justice and fairness and rebelling and so on. You know. So false ego, very interesting topic and very suitable for people who are completely new to this whole practice. And then something for those who are more familiar with our devotional life. You have family, Prabhu? You have family?
Yes.
Yeah. This is Family Life as an Ashram, Secrets of Success. How to create this culture of bhakti in our home, in our family life. Very helpful. You have kids too?
I have one son, yes.
How old is he?
3.
If
It's half French, half Indian.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you have this culture of bhakti in your home, then the kids very naturally, they grow into this culture. But if the culture is not there, if it's not lived properly, then the kids will not take to it, you know. And there's so many practical things all based on Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad Purana, you know, but I'm trying to unpack it more and make it more relevant for people, practically accessible, you know. Yes. Yeah, so that it's like a handbook to successful family life. Yeah, very useful. And then, well, this one is a handbook for matchmaking. Maybe our young fellows here, how to see that a boy and a girl are matching for marriage, that they're compatible. Yes, because often people just meet each other, fall in love, have the pink glasses on. That's why I made it pink, by the way. And then everything looks so rosy. And then, you know, you think, oh, I met the man of my life and the woman of my life. And then 2 years later, the pink glasses fade away, and oh my God, why did I marry this person? You know, I'm sure many of us have had that experience in life, right? The broken heart experiences. So we can save ourselves that if we do things according to Krishna's recommendation. Yes. Yeah. And my latest book is the Vanaprastha, Meeting Death with Joy. There's a whole chapter on death. What happens there on the most subtle levels, how to prepare, what considerations to take into account when we meet our death or when we accompany others in that final journey. I've accompanied quite a few people in these last 1-2 weeks, my own parents. I flew from Australia back to Germany and spent with my mother 10 days, with my father 1 week. And I kept them at home, I took care of them, I helped them to focus, I helped them to let go and move out. Oh yeah, and both my parents had an amazing departure, completely conscious, no morphine and all these kind of stuff. Completely conscious and cool-headed and very auspicious, very nice. Yes. So it's a very important service actually, you know, to really help people in this final stage to focus on God and have a peaceful and good departure, you know. Yes. So this is also interesting, also relevant for newer people. Even though the Vanaprastha ashram is that phase when the children are established in life, then the parents are meant to move on to the retired phase in spiritual life. But again, retired phase in spiritual life and in material life looks very, very different as day is from night, you know. So no harm to educate ourselves, okay, how should we spend this last phase in life in a meaningful way when the kids are gone, you know, and our material duties are reducing and so on. So if any of you would like to get some books, these last 4, they are 15 euros each. First one about women's Shakti and day-night spiritual materialistic culture. That's 10 euros each. So if you would like to get some tools here, how to move forward in your whole spiritual practice, then please let me know. So have you been to other ISKCON temples?
Yes.
Which ones?
The one in Delhi.
Okay.
The one in Chandigarh.
Chandigarh, yes, I've been there too.
And the big one in Mumbai.
Okay, Juhu.
Yes.
Yes, I've been there too. I know them all.
And then this is the first one outside of. No, I've been to the one in London as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bhaktivedanta Manor or Soho
The
Street?
one that's in Oxford, in the center of London.
Yeah, Soho Street.
Yeah, Soho Street.
Yeah. Okay, well, so you're living in Paris?
Yes, it's been 10 years. It's my first time here.
Okay, wow.
It's shameful.
So what have you been doing for 10 years, baby?
Not the right things, clearly.
Okay, all right, well, nice that you came today. So as I said, tonight, 6:30, we have a seminar. And then tomorrow morning also, we have every morning a program, We start already at 4:30 with our mantra meditation, and then 8 o'clock is Bhagavatam class. And then 9 o'clock breakfast. And then Sunday program starts around 4:30 or something. Also, on next week, Saturday, is Balaram Jayanti, Balaram's appearance. That's him there, the left one of the three wooden personalities there. So it's his birthday, and we have a beautiful farm project. Have you been there? New Mayapur? I can't even tell you where it is, near Chateauroux. That's the last train station. It's a bit of a hike, 3 hours by car or something. But there we have a beautiful big castle. Old big castle. Yeah. And we have a very nice celebration there. Next week, it starts already Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so I will travel out there on Monday probably. And yeah, but here will also be something happening. But the main thing is out there. Sometime you should go there. Go with your family and kid, and it's beautiful in nature, whole big castle there, flower gardens, vegetables, and so many things. I think they also have cows, but I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, very nice out there. So just for you to know. Okay, thank you so much for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveda Bhakti ki, Gaura Premanandi. So we will serve the lunch out there in the back.